How are you, child of God? This is the Remnant Seed Bible Study Channel. Welcome. I want to do one today on the four hidden powers that actually run the world, and I think this would apply to ever since time has began, since governmental systems and systems of man have begun. These four powers are really the rulers of the world. And if you control these powers, you rule everything. You control everything. And this is politics, education, finance, and religion. Out of those four, if you rule those, if you control those, you can control the world, despite who is the king or the president or whatever. We've all heard the term deep state or shadow government, or the way things run behind the scenes. And beloved, this is true in our world today. You have the outward government and you have the inward government. You have the people behind the scenes are the ones with, generally speaking, the ones with the most money are in charge. And it's a system based on bribery and blackmail and every kind of evil thing you could think of. And it's just, in the last years, it's gotten worse and worse, and I don't see any turning back from this. I believe this whole thing is going to collapse. I'm going to get into the beast system, which I believe is a system that makes the world go round. Like when you get up in the morning, you turn on the news, you turn on your water, you turn on your electricity, you speak to your friends on the phone, whatever. Every last thing you do is a part of this system, and it's a beast in itself, and the wheels are turning. This thing turns every day, and it's an amazing thing how this beast system just perpetuates itself. It keeps going. It keeps going day after day after day. And since the Industrial Revolution, this system has really never came to a full stop, or completely, the wheels completely stopped turning. And I firmly believe that at some point towards the end, we're going to see the complete collapse of this entire system. In other words, you won't be able to get your mail. You won't get no phone calls. You won't have no internet. You won't have no electricity, no running water, absolutely nothing in the modern age that connects us all. And can you imagine that? What chaos the world would be in or go into without all of the systems of this beast system in order, and it would just be chaos. And beloved, many people would die as a result of this. The human race has become completely dependent on the beast. All right, let's get into this. It's going to be rather long. So the scriptures I'm going to use are primarily Revelation and Daniel, and as Zachariah speaks of the four horns of power. But there are basic premises in God's word. You got to understand that horns and certain phrases that the Bible uses are always, they refer to the same thing. The four winds. The number 4 is the number of earth in Bible acrostics. And so once you learn the Bible language of acrostics and metaphors and symbolism, you're better able to understand the prophecies in the Bible. And I'm not going to pretend to know them all, people. This is a lot of this is supposition on my behalf, but I think I'm very close on this. And I'm only going to concentrate on the four winds and the beasts and the current system that we have in place right now and what's going on in the world today. Otherwise, this would just get way too lengthy and way too long. I've already done works on Daniel and a lot of prophecy, beloved, but I want to try to stay focused on the four winds and the four beasts and Mother Earth. Okay, let's go to Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, which is the multitude of people. And you're going to find the symbolism explained in Revelation 17 of what the sea is and the sand and a lot of the symbolism. Okay, which the sands of the sea is just simply a multitude of people. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, which is the people, having 7 heads, which is 7 dominions or 7 countries. There's a lot of ways you could look at this. And 10 horns, which is kings, and horns are symbolic of power, political power. And in even other various forms of power, the horn can be used as symbolic of power. And upon his horns 10 crowns. In other words, these powers were given crowns. They were kings and they had power. And that could be 10 countries. And upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And this beast is anti-God, and it's ran by Satan. That's why it has the name of blasphemy on it. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and a dragon gave him his power and great authority, and his seat and great authority. Now I don't believe these, the lion, the dragon, the bear, and the leopard. I don't believe these are nations as spoken of, like in the dream of Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 2. I think it's a basic premise that's being used over and over again in God's Word to explain even different things that happen in different periods of time. But it's using the same symbology. Now I'm going to focus on the number 4, which is the number of earth. And number 4 is mentioned many times in Zachariah, Daniel, and Revelation in regards to prophecy. Just as the north, south, and east and west represent earth, so are the powers that represent the corrupt beast system of today. And they're divided into 4s. And you see this number 4 used over and over again. And I believe anytime you see the number 4, you have to have as a backdrop the earth and an earthly system or systems of the world, this earth, which is, it's carnal. It's in the physical world. Okay, all of the multi-headed beast rulers, kingdoms, and powers are mainly political. And I believe they're descriptions of agencies within a governmental power. And they're divided into 4s, and 4 beasts having 4 different characteristics of power. 7 heads, 7 dominions, 10 crowns, 10 rulers or kings within these 7 dominions or continents even. Excuse me. Satan will be in control of all these systems in the last generation. Sad to say, America is at the forefront of this rebellion against God. In the last 4 years, we've seen the world descend into utter madness, and a false reality has been pounded into people's brains. And this is just absolute insanity, what we got going on in the world nowadays, beloved. The world has become completely unhinged, and people don't even know what to believe. What we're living through now is very similar to the first rebellion of Satan in Revelation 12:4, and I believe this is a replay, beloved. I believe it's going to be an almost exact replay of the first rebellion. And I've done videos on this called The Second Overthrow of Satan. And that's what we're seeing in the world today, beloved. The world's turning its back on God and embracing this beast and the beast system. And they're actually embracing the beast, which is none other than Satan, another name for him. and the beast system, which is this system I told you about. They worship the system and the creation, which is Satan, more than they do the Creator. And of course, beloved, I rag on the church all the time, but they are not fulfilling their duty as the church. In my opinion, they have completely failed. And they're sitting on the sidelines in their little kumbaya world of make-believe, Santa Claus, the rapture, and all the nonsense that you see in Christianity and churches. Me. It's all platitudes and attitudes. Doesn't have nothing to do with the fight that we're in right now. We're in a battle against the world, the flesh, and the devil. All right, now let's continue. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all of the world wondered after the beast. Now this is the beast system, and this deadly wound occurs to one of these heads, one of these systems, okay, and it's only temporary. It actually is healed, and I believe the healing takes place when the Antichrist appears on the earth, and he will have all the solutions to the problems that we have, and he's going to claim to be able to fix everything, and he's lying. He's lying. Okay, now this is called the deadly wound. This is the verse where you get the deadly wound from, beloved, and I'm sure you've all heard this terminology. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. In other words, Satan gives power to this beast system, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who's able to make war with him. And they're basically saying, you try to take on the deep state, and they're going to come after you with everything they got. Look at what they're doing to Trump. Okay? You can't make war with the beast system. They will gang up on you. They will use the locust army, and they're going to come against you. And there is basically what they're saying here is true in a worldly sense. Who can make war with this beast system? And look at all the people that try. Okay, look at JFK, what happened to him. Okay, look at Ronald Reagan. And look at Trump. I mean, you ever wonder why people hate this man so bad? Because he's not playing their game. He's not a member of the club. That's why they hate him. That's why they don't want him to be president, because he knows they're going to come after him. And I hope and pray that he wins. But beloved, if you want my opinion on this, I don't see Donald Trump winning the election. They're going to pull some shenanigan and steal it again. I just don't see it happening. I don't see Trump able to win this. I mean, he's going to give it a shot, and it doesn't mean that I'm not praying for him to win, but I don't see him winning, beloved. I think this beast system is going to overcome him. Okay, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And 3.5 years, and I believe this time has been shortened. And this is speaking to the time in our future when he's actually cast out from heaven and given this power. And this power is not his, because his power is in his deception, and he's actually going to claim to be Jesus Christ. And the world's being set up for this right now, man. People just do not understand what's really going on. They're going to be so deceived when this joker comes on the scene, because he's going to claim to be Jesus Christ and have a solution to all the problems that have been that arise because of the failure of this beast system. He's gonna have a cure for the chaos, beloved. He's going to have a cure for the crisis in confidence. He's going to have a solution to all of your problems. All right, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now, this is just another view of this Satan coming on the scene as Antichrist, and he speaks like a lamb. Okay, and he has two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Means he spoke with great authority. But really, if you know who he is, his words are Satan's words, because he is Satan. This is Satan in person, de facto. And he comes as a lamb, like the Lamb of God, but he speaks as a dragon. And he exerciseth the power of the first beast before him. In other words, he uses the beast system to his advantage. He causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, so a lot of people worship the beast system, right? And so Satan is going to come on the scene and heal the deadly wound. And there's your verse for that. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Can you imagine this, beloved? Satan coming down as Jesus Christ and snapping his fingers and lightning coming down. He's going to deceive everybody. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, in the sight of this great beast system. And basically everybody on earth is going to see this joker's power. Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Just as saying, basically, they're going to worship this beast system and the dragon and Satan, which gives it its power. They're going to bow down and worship it. And this is how you take the mark of the beast. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many who would not worship the image of the beast that should be killed. And he caused both great and small and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads. And this basically is the mark of the beast, and it's not a mark or a stamp on your forehead. This is a mark of your allegiance. Who do you align yourself with? Are you aligned with Satan? Do you worship the beast? Or do you worship the creation, or do you worship the creator? Okay, there's a big difference. And this mark of the beast, it simply means you have put your faith in the beast system rather than God. And you are marked because of it. No man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark of the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding take the mark. Excuse me, beloved. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And this in the Greek is Chi Exi Stigma, 666. Chi Exi Stigma. Okay, now let's go to Daniel 7:1. And in the first year of Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, the visions of his head upon his bed, and he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and beheld the four winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. Now this is simply speaking about the four winds is the end of time, and the end of time strove upon the great sea. In other words, the people are facing the end of time at this time that Daniel is speaking of. He's definitely speaking of the end times. And the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. And this is just reiterating Revelation 13, and 13 is reiterating Daniel. The great sea is the people. Of course, this beast comes out of the people because it's a worldly system. It's of the world. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings, and I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked up. It was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And this beast is ran by men, and it had the feet of a man, because this beast is made up of men and ran by men. And behold, another beast, a second like a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it. between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise and devour much flesh. Now this is one of the characteristics of this beast system, of these four powers. It acts like a bear. It has the characteristics of a bear. And a bear devours flesh, okay? And you have to look at this in a descriptive term as one of the characteristics of this beast system power. It has a way of tearing people up and devouring people. It devours everything in its wake. And after this I beheld, lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon it the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. And notice all the 4s in here, beloved. This tells me that it's speaking of these worldly systems. The system that the beast is made up of. And there are 4 of them. And the leopard, I think, is unique in this because the leopard seems to indicate a stealth, a sleuthiness. It can change its spots. It has this ability to mimic or and it's kind of, it has a spiritual connotation of deception. Okay, and dominion was given unto it. And after this I saw in the night visions, behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had a great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue of the feet of it, and was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. Now these are 10 powers, these are 10 kings, 10 presidents. I considered the horns, and beheld, there came up among them another little horn. Now this is Satan. This is Satan as the Antichrist, and these are the kings. These are the 10 kings. The 10 horns are represented as kings, but beloved, these are supernatural kings here. These 10 horns are supernatural kings, and Satan is in charge of them. And this is, you're told this in Revelation 12:9. These fallen angels and these evil entities will be cast out of heaven with Satan, and they will come and rule and reign with him for an hour, which is basically the hour of temptation, the 5.5-month period that he will be here de facto on earth. And I considered the horns, and there came up from among them another little horn. Don't lose sight of that, beloved. The little horn is the Antichrist. It's Satan, claiming to be Jesus Christ, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Why? Because he is a man. He's called a man in Isaiah 14. And Jesus Christ looks like a man. So Satan comes, he's going to have to look like a man if he's going to claim to be Jesus Christ, right? Okay, and we go to Daniel 8:8. Therefore the goat waxed very great. It's just another reiteration of the same thing, beloved. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. Now we're speaking about the end of time, and we're speaking about these 4 powers again. They come up over and over and over again. And we got the little horn coming up again, mentioned again. It's just reiterating the same thing, beloved. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land, which is Jerusalem. And it waxed great, and even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. And he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down. This is when people start worshiping the Antichrist as Christ, and they actually start taking communion to him, beloved. Can you imagine that? His deception is going to be so powerful, they're actually going to make their sacrifice, which is the Old Testament is the daily sacrifice, but in the New Testament, our sacrifice is our daily love toward the Lord Jesus Christ and God. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it did cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. And in this process, the truth is cast away, and many people are worshiping the Antichrist, so the truth is actually cast down to the ground because people at this time are so deceived. It's absolutely amazing the level of deception that we're going to see coming up. And it's already started, beloved. Many people in the world today are deceived. They don't have a clue what's going on. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And the desolation is speaking of the abomination of the desolator, which is Satan, that Christ spoke about, standing in the holy place. How long will it be? How long is he going to have? And he said unto me, 2,300 days shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Now this is a completely different time period here, and beloved, this is when the sanctuary was last cleansed, was a long time ago, and I believe that when the sanctuary is cleansed again, it's in the very near future. Okay? Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright and said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation. For that time appointed, the end shall be. All right, verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media, Persia. And this is a forerunner of the Antichrist. This is a similitude. Okay, and these things happen over and over again, beloved, and this is being explained to you. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. In the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come up to a full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now notice how this jumps all the way up to the end times, and this is speaking about the Antichrist, Satan. And it's basically telling you that things are going to be really similar to this dream of Daniel. In Daniel's time, it's a similitude. It's a reoccurrence of almost the same thing, and this is amazing. Things repeat themselves over and over in God's word. And his power shall be mighty, but not in his own power, but his power to deceive. He doesn't come saying, I'm Satan, and will you worship me? He says, I'm Jesus Christ, worship me. And that's how he gets his power, by lying. And he shall destroy wonderfully. Okay, and it's by deception and claiming he's Jesus Christ, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people, which is God's people. And you're seeing this already happen, beloved. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, and shall be broken without hand. And in the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Wherefore shut up thou the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. And after I rose up, the king's business, and did the king's business. And I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. All right, I'm going to go try to explain this. This is getting a little long, beloved. When the phrase four winds is used, it's always associated with the end of time. The sea represents the people of the world, and you're going to find that in Revelation 17. The number four represents earth, and its number is used over and over to emphasize the fact that these beasts are earthly systems. And I gave you them already, beloved: education, religion, banking, and politics. The bear, lion, leopard, and dragon are used to describe the characteristics of these four systems. These systems are ran by Satan as the dragon, who is the head of the locust army. I believe the 10 horns and crowns are a reference to political power all over the world. These 10 rulers or kings, presidents, or whatever you wish to call them, are in charge of these governmental systems, which are similar in all parts of the world. And this goes for all times, beloved. These systems are very similar. What we see in the world today is a beast system, or better said, the system is a beast. The system itself has taken on the role of a beast. It sometimes seems like it's out of control. To better explain what the system really is, you have to look at the mechanics of it, and I explained this to you, beloved, earlier. It's what makes the postman deliver your mail. It's what opens the stock market every day. It's electricity being sent to your house, and so on. Okay, and just think of all the daily occurrences that go on every day to make the wheels of this gigantic beast keep going. This is an earthly beast that is purely carnal and physical in nature. And this is really what keeps the whole thing going. It's a system invented by man and ran by mankind. Do you worship the creation or the creator? Do you worship the beast system that mankind has created for himself? The great whore that sits upon many waters, this is the beast that makes up all of these systems, beloved. She will come crashing down in 1 hour, and there's no doubt about it. This is in our immediate future. This whole thing is going to come crashing down, and all hell is going to break loose when this happens, beloved. I've given the meanings of these four beasts in a more abstract view that could apply to many periods of time. I believe the same events are being described from a different perspective and also used as similitudes of events that reoccur time and time again. And it looks like there are four characteristics of this beast system, or four parts to it. It comes out of the people because they are the people, and has the main characteristics of a lion, bear, and a dragon. And there are others that are mentioned in these visions, eagles and creatures with wings, and the dragon, of course, is a mystical creature, but we all know that Satan is called the dragon in Revelation, and so this is a reference to Satan. It's not a mystical creature. Keep in mind, this is all speaking about the very end of time leading up to it. How would you, if you had to do it, how would you divide the current beast system up into four groups? And I leave this kind of, this open, and this is very generalized because I don't want to jump to any conclusions, because I don't think we're able to, beloved. We don't have enough information on this. I'm not going to call the leopard a country or the bear a country, or I think it's more abstract than that. Okay, now let's look at this abstract view of this. If you control these, you control the world. The 10 kings rule over the people, but the four beasts control the world. You can see the similarity in the way a society operates in today's world. And you can just fill in the blanks of the bear, lion, leopard, and dragon with the names and roles. And Satan has 33 roles, okay? And dragon is just one of his names and roles. Most of the world knows that there are basically two sides of reality in any society in the modern age. And above ground, below ground, some legal, some not. Some people will never play by the rules, and some will actually play by the rules. And you got two types of people there, beloved. If the four beasts are under the control of Satan, their actions will be mostly underground. Everything will be corrupt. Many world leaders are turning their back on their own people. They do it behind closed doors and in secret. They plot and scheme on how to control the world. These people are evil, beloved. They want to place you in submission and have complete control over your life with absolutely no freedom. And that's where the world is headed, under this one world beast system. And what will be the catalyst that starts the beast system destruction or that causes this deadly wound? A deadly wound will occur to one or all of our economic, educational, political, and religious system. It will stop the wheels of the beast from turning, but it will be healed. Just recently, this entire beast system has started to unravel because the people are losing confidence in their government and the system. No confidence, no government. When a deadly wound occurs, it will be because people have lost confidence in their systems. If a government can't be trusted, then neither can their currency. And beloved, money makes the world go round. And without confidence in fiat currency, your money is absolutely worthless. It has no worth, no intrinsic value at all. It's basically an IOU, and it's built on the confidence that that government will back up the worth of that note. And without that, you got nothing. Okay, and that's where we're headed. Confidence in the almighty dollar is falling rapidly. And we're facing a breakdown in the beast system. When the people running a country can't be trusted because they're inherently dishonest, the rest of the world's going to quit doing business with them. And this is happening all over the world like never before. When a system is relying on honesty to make it function properly, if you replace it replace honest people with liars and no goods, it's going to eventually cease to function. The beast system is now beginning to fail, and eventually it's going to crash and burn. And what's happening all over the world is the awakening of the common peoples beginning to realize their governments are not acting on their behalf. And in fact, they're waging war against their own people. Greedy multinational companies like Big Pharma, the military industrial complex, and beloved, many other, media companies and all of them, beloved, they have all ganged up on us, and they're waging war against us right now. And they've all joined forces against the common peoples all over the world. This is a worldwide phenomenon, and it's a revolution, and we've never seen this before. We've seen it in regions, but never worldwide. When the wheels of this beast come to a screeching halt, I don't believe they're going to be able to get it started up again. Okay, it's going to be awfully hard to get it going again. There's a cause and effect that should be obvious. The more people reject God, the more dishonest people become. With the breakdown of morals and righteousness, you have a breakdown of civilization. Civilization without freedom is tyranny. The perfect law of liberty is freedom, but with it requires personal righteousness. And this is missing in our society today, beloved. We have a bunch of liars and no-goods running our country, and people become more dishonest by the day. Respect for America is at an all-time low in the world today. We were once a righteous nation, and the rest of the world could clearly look up to us. We shared our bounty with almost every nation on earth. We shared more wealth than any other nation in history. But for the last 50 years, America has consistently turned its back on God, and it started in 1963, really, when we took prayer out of the schools, and this was the beginning of the end for America. And the last 4 years have been the worst in our nation's history by far. America has slipped into utter spiritual darkness and unimaginable evil, with open Satan worship at the Olympics and many other sporting events. And it's also happening in the music business and the movie business and politics and every aspect of society. This evil is popping its head up, and they are outright worshiping the devil in the open. You worship the devil when you change your sex or become a homosexual. You worship the devil when you can justify killing a baby. You can also worship the devil by giving people so-called vaccines that are harming them. Yes, did I forget? You can if you bear false witness and you know it's a lie, you could be worshiping the devil. Bearing false witness is much more than a lie. First, you lied. Second, you're knowingly, falsely accused somebody of something they didn't do. When you accuse and even sue somebody, knowing the accusations are false, you are now placing yourself under special circumstances according to God and His law. can also worship the devil with rituals. And just look at the Olympics, look at the sporting events, look at the NFL, the halftime this year. Absolutely evil, open worship of the devil. Make no mistake, the woke agenda is the devil's agenda, and you can even say the devil's religion. Everything about the woke agenda is evil and anti-God. They know it, yet they're shoving it down our throats. The woke agenda is run by people who serve the devil. The woke agenda is the devil's agenda, and people, you need to wake up to this. As the rest of the world watches America fall apart, so are they without a moral and righteous leader. In the entire world, there will be no peace. The rest of the world is watching America. We used to be the leader of the free world, but we're not a leader anymore. We're a nation of debauchery, okay? And so, as America does, so the rest of the world. We are looked up to still as the leader of the world because of our great military power, but morally speaking and righteousness, no. We have lost that authority, and that only comes from God, beloved. That's the most scariest thing to me of all. Okay, now we got Daniel 11:36, and beloved, I'm going to cut this short. I want you to read these on your own, and these are basically just reiterating the same thing. And we got Zachariah here where these four horns are mentioned, okay, by Zachariah. And I believe these are mentioning these four hidden powers in probably the most abstract way in Zechariah. And then the Lord showed me four carpenters. And beloved, the four carpenters are, and I'm going to end this video here in a minute, beloved. And I go into the meanings of the lion, the bear, and the leopard. And basically all of them have the same meaning as they do in the English. They're basically all the same thing. They're all the same meaning. So there are no meanings in the original languages that will lead us to anything different than any of the conclusions we're coming up with right now. But beloved, the four carpenters are come to try to fray the plans of the devil in these end times. And I believe they're God's elect, and they're working to try to warn the people of what's going on. And beloved, I am just dumb old country boy. I'm part of this. I'm doing everything I possibly can to stop this, and to warn you, and to show you what's going on in the world, and to show you what we're up against and what we've got to look forward to. This is going to be absolutely the worst tribulation mankind has ever seen when this beast system comes to a halt. You have no electricity, no water, no communication. The food you're going to have to get is going to be from Mother Earth, from the wilderness. In Revelation 12, when the woman goes out into the wilderness, that's the only way we're going to escape this beast system. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pretty, beloved, but it is coming like a freight train down the tracks. So anyway, I'm going to end this. It's going a little long, but I do this because I love you and I want to warn you. And beloved, God literally hounds me to the end of the earth. I cannot get by without doing this. He orders me. I am under his control, and I love him so much, and I do this because I love him and because I love you. And we will see you on the next one, if God tarries.